What's up, basketball fans? We are a little under a month away from the NBA draft, and that means I got my first 2-round mock draft ready for you to go. Now, before I get into all 60 picks, I want to remind everyone, a mock draft is not a big board. So this is me projecting where I think they will go, not where they should go. And let's start off with number 1. This is the easiest one for me, Anthony Edwards. I've had him at number 1 since the beginning. I think he's such a perfect fit in Minnesota alongside Towns and D'Angelo Russell. He's not a great shooter yet, but I think it will translate, and I think he will be a solid secondary ball handler next to D'Angelo Russell on that Timberwolves team as well. At number 2, I've got James Wiseman going to the Golden State Warriors. I truly believe they are starting to lean into the idea of taking him at 2 should they stay there, although there is no guarantee that they will stay with that number 2 overall pick and not trade it away. Now, he did recently have a workout with the Golden State Warriors, and they said, hey, that athleticism and that size that James Wiseman has, it is a very real thing, and I think both those things will translate to the NBA. But if you've been watching for a while, you know that I have one big man a little bit over James Wiseman on my big board in Onyeka Okongwu out of USC. And since James Wiseman only played 3 games in college, I thought it was only fair to stack those numbers up side by side, because a lot of people are like, Jimmy, Wiseman's way better. Is he? Because through their first 3 games, the numbers were very, very similar. And in today's NBA, Onyeka Okongwu fits the mold a little bit better. Now, if you want your traditional big man, James Wiseman's the way to go. If you want to go with the likes of Bam Adebayo, that's what you're going to get in Onyeka Okongwu. But I do see the Warriors taking Wiseman at 2, and I don't think that's a bad pick at all. I also don't think they're going to keep the pick. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up trading it on draft night or before draft night. But what I want you guys to do is scroll on down to the comment section, and you can decide. What do you think the Warriors should do with that number 2 overall pick? It doesn't have to be a prediction, but tell me what you guys think they should do. Type T for trade or type your K for keep. I personally will type my T for trade on this one. Now, if you haven't already, you're going to want to make sure you subscribe to our Warriors Only channel at youtube.com/WarriorsTV. We're getting close to 5,000. I think we can get there before the NBA draft. If you want to keep up with all things Warriors, that's the place you're going to want to go to. So one more time, that's youtube.com/WarriorsTV. Now, with the number 3 pick in the NBA draft, I think the Charlotte Hornets have to go with LaMelo Ball. I know they have Terry Rozier. I know they have Devontae Graham, but they don't have a true star. And LaMelo Ball has that star power. Not a great shooter, not a great defender, but his size and his playmaking ability are going to make him an incredible point guard in today's NBA. At number 4, I've got the first international prospect coming off the board in Deni Avdija of the Chicago Bulls. Look, the Bulls need a wing. They've got Kobe White. They've got Lauri Markkanen. They've got Wendell Carter Jr. They don't have a true wing besides Otto Porter Jr. Deni Avdija could easily be that and also be a secondary playmaker. At number 5, the kid out of Dayton, arguably the best collegiate basketball player this past year, is Obi Toppin. I've got the Cavs taking him 5th overall. No, they don't need a big man, but let's face it, if Toppin's there at 5, you absolutely have to pick him if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers. Another guy that has star power, a great offensive player, not a great defender, but I think that defense could come around thanks to the athleticism that Obi Toppin possesses and showed in his college days. Now, I've got a 2-part question for you. Who do you want your favorite team to draft this year? See, it's a 2-parter because you got to tell me who your favorite team is, and then you got to tell me who you want them to take. But try to be somewhat realistic with me. Don't tell me you want a number 1 prospect, but your team's got the 29th pick in the draft. Be real with me. Who do you want your favorite team to take in 2020? Let's go to number 6. That's my big man, Onyeka Okongwu, going to the Atlanta Hawks. I think you got to take him if he's there on the board. Yes, they have Clint Capella, but this guy can play the power forward or the center position. At 7, I've got Killian Hayes going to the Detroit Pistons. Again, another perfect fit. He and Sekou Doumbouya are friends already, so that means they will have awesome chemistry when he becomes a Piston next year. At number 8, I got the New York Knicks taking Tyrese Haliburton out of Iowa State. This kid is a coach's dream, a point guard that can do it all on the floor, and I think his game will translate really, really well. Steps into that starting 5 on day 1. At number 9, the Washington Wizards take Isaac Okoro out of Auburn. Best defender in the draft, hands down. He immediately becomes a wing, and if the Wizards are like, hey, we want to play with John Wall and Bradley Beal, he can step into that 3 spot pretty easily. At 10, I got Devin Vassell from Florida State going to the Phoenix Suns. This is the kid that can play the 2 guard or the 3 position, whatever you need him to do, whatever Phoenix needs him to do. Phoenix already has a solid defender in Mikal Bridges on the bench, or could be in the starting lineup. I think they add another one with Devin Vassell if he's still on the board at number 10. this year. Now I got another question for you. I asked who you want your favorite team to pick, but I want to ask who your favorite prospect is in this year's draft. It can be any of the international guys. Maybe it's a guy from your favorite college, but let me know in the comment section your favorite prospect, and hey, maybe nobody's talking about him, but maybe you can get people talking about him in the comment section. Let's go to number 11, the San Antonio Spurs getting Patrick Williams out of Florida State, one of the best forwards, a great defender, and a good finisher around the rim. That shot will come around in the NBA, especially with Greg Popovich as his head coach. At 12, I got the Sacramento Kings taking Saddiq Bey out of Villanova, one of the best shooters in this draft. In my opinion, the best overall 3-and-D prospect in this draft. And Sacramento, they just need talent, so you take the best player available. At 13, I got the Pelicans taking Aaron Nesmith. I think the best pure shooter in the draft coming out of Vanderbilt. Yes, he suffered some injuries, and we got a pretty small sample size from Aaron Nesmith, but I do think he will translate really well to the NBA if he can become a little bit better of a finisher around the rim. And the Pelicans, with guys like Lonzo Ball and Zion Williamson, even Jackson Hayes, really need to add shooting to that young core. And if Aaron Nesmith is the guy, I think it makes a lot of sense in New Orleans. In my mock draft, I've got the Boston Celtics taking Cole Anthony at the very end of the lottery with pick number 14. I've had him there for a little while because I think at 14, that value is just way too good if you're the Boston Celtics. You really have to help out Kemba Walker off the bench. And not only that, but Cole Anthony is also such a great scoring guard that you can put him at the 2 position and immediately even play him off the bench alongside Kemba Walker. Now, he did suffer some injuries in his freshman year at North Carolina. That's why he only played in 22 games. But in the 22 games that he played, he scored 19 points per game, pulled down 6 rebounds, and even passed the ball decently well for a guy that's not known to be a pass-first point guard. I think the biggest downside with Cole Anthony is his size and the fact that he really is a shooting guard in a point guard's body. But this kid has amazing handles. He can score the ball at will. His jump shot, although he only shot 34% in his freshman year, has great mechanics. I think he would be a steal for Boston at 14. But I want you guys to make your predictions, or really just let me know in the comment section who you want the Boston Celtics to take at 14. Since they have that pick and they're kind of in win-now mode, you kind of have to get a win-now player, which is what I think Cole Anthony can become. But let me know in the comment section who Boston should select. And while you're doing that, I want to remind you to subscribe to our Celtics-only channel at chatsports.com/CelticsTV. That link will be in the comments and in the description. If you're a Celtics fan or if you're just a generic NBA fan, that's one place you're going to want to be subscribed all off season long. Now, when you go to chatsports.com/NBA jerseys, you can get any of these awesome jerseys from the Celtics to the Bucks to the Lakers to the Warriors. Anybody you want is available at chatsports.com/NBA jerseys, and they are the authentic, real deal Nike jerseys. I mean, heck, Christmas is coming right around the corner, although we got Halloween coming up, but you got to get gifts for people. This is the best place to go. Free shipping, so make sure you go check out those jerseys today at chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. Let's go to 15, Orlando taking Kira Lewis Jr. This is a kid who I have been all over the board with, but I think he is such a good fit, especially if Markelle Fultz doesn't end up being the point guard of the future that I know Magic fans want him to be. Kira Lewis Jr., probably the fastest player in this draft out of Alabama. Kind of a questionable jump shot, but it's at least coming around. He's got long arms, and he can finish around the rim at will. I think Orlando would really benefit from taking a guard right here. Let's go to the second half of the first round. We got Precious Achiuwa going to the Portland Trailblazers, a great power forward. Aleksej Pokusevski, a kid that can play really the small forward, even though he's 7 feet tall. The Dallas Mavericks, with pick number 18, take Tyrese Maxey out of Kentucky, which I think would be a steal that low in the draft. Isaiah Stewart goes to the Brooklyn Nets at 19. And then at 20, the defending Eastern Conference champions take Desmond Bane out of TCU. This kid is flying up draft boards, not just mine, but everyone's right now, because you can see over his 4-year career, he continued to climb the ladder. He is an absolute gym rat, and he will stick around the league for a long time because of that and because he can shoot the lights out of the gym. Over the past 3 years, he did not shoot less than 42% from 3, and if the Miami Heat can get him at 20, watch out for the Miami Heat once again. Now, the NBA draft, as I said at the top of the show, is under a month away. You're going to want to make sure you subscribe because we're going to be live for all 60 picks and then some. When all the undrafted free agents sign, yeah, we'll be here too, posting all the picks, all the time. So don't miss a beat. Make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/chatsportstv and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video leading up to the draft. Let's go to 21. The 76ers take Tyrell Terry out of Stanford. I mean, this is just too good of a fit, a sharpshooter out of Stanford. At 22, I got the Denver Nuggets taking Daniel Oturu to kind of make up for potentially losing Mason Plumlee and backing up Nikola Jokic. 23, the Utah Jazz take Tyler Bay, kind of a combo forward there. And then at 24, I've got the Milwaukee Bucks selecting R.J. Hampton, a kid who's kind of a polarizing prospect, such a great high school player, and then didn't really pan out in the NBL due to injuries and just not having the body ready to play with grown men. But if the Bucks can get him and he hits his ceiling, man, Giannis is going to be happy about that one. At 25, I've got the Oklahoma City Thunder taking Jaden McDaniels, a kid who really couldn't put it all together in college, but if he can take all of his skill and all of his athleticism and put it together in the NBA, they could get a steal here at 25. With the 26th pick in my mock draft, I've got the Boston Celtics selecting Jalen Smith out of Maryland, who can play both that power forward or center position, which gives the Celtics a lot of depth at the big man spot. And then you look at Leandro Balmero going to the Knicks at 27, Nico Mannion at 28, and then followed by Theo Maledon at 29. The Celtics also taking another big man with number 30 in Zeke Naji out of Arizona. But Zeke Naji, more of a true center, while Jalen Smith, a power forward / center combo guy. I like both these picks, and I think both of them could really help the Celtics out in next year behind guys like Robert Williams and even Grant Williams at the power forward position as well. Now, I want you guys to let me know who you think is going to be the steal of this year's draft. I just broke down all 30 picks in the first round. We're about to get into the second round, where I think you're going to see a lot of steals come into mind, but who's going to be your steal? Let me know in the comment section. Go ahead and scroll on down and type it down below. At 31, the first pick in the second round, I got the Dallas Mavericks selecting a hometown kid, Jamias Ramsey, out of Texas Tech, followed by Vernon Carey Jr. going to the Charlotte Hornets at 32. I had them taking LaMelo Ball third overall. Now I've got them taking a big man in the second round. Cassius Winston goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves to kind of help out their point guard play off the bench, followed by Emmanuel Quickley to the Philadelphia 76ers, as he's one of the best shooters in this draft. And then Xavier Tillman out of Michigan State going 35 to the Sacramento Kings. But let's circle back around to who I have the Charlotte Hornets taking in Vernon Carey Jr. This is a kid that I think in draft workouts could climb his way into the first round. But in college, he's a bit of a tweener between that power forward and center position, and I just don't know where he fits in the NBA yet. But if that jump shot is working for him, man, he's going to be a steal in the second round of this year's draft at 32. Let's go to 36. The 76ers have yet another pick, and I've got them taking Elijah Hughes out of Syracuse, another guy that could climb into the first round very, very easily. 37, Malachi Hughes goes to the Washington Wizards to be a backup point guard, maybe even a forward role there in Washington. Isaiah Joe, a good shooter out of Arkansas, going to the Knicks at 38, followed by Caleb Wesson, a kid who lost a lot of weight since the season and has really kind of helped his draft stock improve. And then one of the best athletes in the draft, Cassius Stanley, goes to the Memphis Grizzlies, 40th overall in this year's draft. Now what I want you to do is kind of just put yourself out there. Let me know. There is no shame here. Just tell me one prospect that you've been wrong about in past drafts. Maybe you were too high on a guy, or maybe you were too low on a guy. Let me know in the comment section. Listen, I'll tell you right now, I was so wrong on Tyler Hero. I said he should go at the end of the first round. I laughed at the Miami Heat for taking him as early as they did, and then he helped them get all the way to the NBA Finals. So there, I told you mine. Now you got to tell me yours in the comment section. Let's go to pick number 41, the San Antonio Spurs picking Paul Reed out of DePaul, a good big man, kind of a traditional power forward, but could be a good fit with the Spurs. Robert Woodard going to the New Orleans Pelicans at 42 out of Mississippi State, followed by a great shooter in Jordan Nora out of Louisville. And then 44, the Chicago Bulls taking a guard that can kind of back up Kobe White in Grant Riller. And this is a kid who I really didn't have going super high in the draft. Obviously, I still don't have him going very high, but by the end of this thing, he could be at the top of the second round for me. This kid is instant offense off the bench. He was a senior at Charleston, super smart, but the problem is can't play any defense. Then at 45, I got another Mississippi State kid, Reggie Perry, the big man, going to the Orlando Magic. Now let's get to 46 through 50 in my mock draft with Yoli Childs out of BYU going to the Portland Trailblazers at 46. And then Trey Jones at 47 going to the Boston Celtics. Now, in this mock draft, I do have Trey Jones going number 47 overall. And, yeah, I had them taking Cole Anthony in the first round, but Trey Jones is one of the smartest guards coming out of college this year. And throughout his time at Duke, he really improved as a shooter. And let's say the Boston Celtics do take a guy like Cole Anthony in the lottery. Well, then you got to get a more true point guard, and that's what I think Trey Jones could be off the bench. And this really helps their depth, where they need help at the backup guard role, and they need help at the big man depth, because they only have guys like Robert Williams and Grant Williams and Daniel Tice there at the big man. So now you get guys like Zeke Naji, Trey Jones, Cole Anthony, and even Jalen Smith. I think this helps the Celtics' depth tremendously, because let's face it, they don't really need to shore up their wing position with guys like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. So I think taking guards and big men is the way to go for the Boston Celtics. Now, Halloween's coming up. It's right around the corner, so I want to ask you guys this question. What is your favorite Halloween candy? And I think there's only one right answer. I think it's Reese's. And if it's anything else, I don't know what you're doing. But give me Reese's all day, every day. But really, you can also go with Snickers. That's one of my favorites as well. At 48, I've got the Golden State Warriors taking Abdul Ndoye out of France, a 6'6" guard that is a great playmaker and has an NBA-ready body. Might be a draft and stash guy, but could be a fun project in a couple years, followed by Skylar Mays out of LSU going 49th, and Peyton Pritchard out of Oregon, one of the best shooters in this draft, going to the Atlanta Hawks, 50th overall. At 51, I've got the Golden State Warriors again, taking Devin Dotson out of Kansas, a good guard that can play either guard position. I think this would really help the Golden State Warriors' depth at that point guard position behind guys like Steph Curry, even a Kai Bowman and a Klay Thompson. If you take Devin Dotson, I think they might get a good deal there. Now, you know what else is a good deal is our friends over at Fanatics hooking you up with free shipping on these NBA jerseys. So go to chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. Whoever your team is, whoever your favorite player is, you can get those today. They are the authentic Nike jerseys, best quality you're going to find on the internet for such a great price at chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. Make sure you go pick one up today before the offseason gets going and everyone starts trading around different teams. Let's talk about number 52, Marcus Howard going to the Sacramento Kings. I want to take this guy higher, but I think teams are going to look down because of his size, followed by Udoka Azubuike, the big man out of Kansas. Kind of too much of a traditional big man for me to be okay with taking him here, but I think the Thunder, they need big man help behind Steven Adams. He could be the answer. At 54, the Indiana Pacers take my sleeper pick of this entire draft in Lamine Diane. Yes, that's how you pronounce that name. I know it doesn't look like it, but I promise it is. A kid out of Cal State Northridge, averaged 26 points and 11 rebounds. He's an incredible defender, 2 blocks per game, and his jump shot is coming around as well. The only reason he's not going to go higher in this draft is because he didn't play anyone, because he played at Cal State Northridge. But if you're going to take him in the second round, in fact, I think you have to take him in the second round, because if he falls that far, take the chance. Now at 55, I got Kenyon Martin Jr., yes, the kid out of IMG, and yes, that's the Kenyon Martin you're thinking of going to the Brooklyn Nets, followed by another high school kid at 56, Josh Hall from Oak Hill. Yeah, the same Oak Hill that Carmelo Anthony went to, going to the Charlotte Hornets. Then at 57, I got the Los Angeles Clippers taking Paul Ibua. Yeah, I think I got that right. Playing in Italy, a really freak athletic forward from Italy, followed by 2 Kentucky guys, Ashton Hagans and Nick Richard. And then at number 60, I got Rokas Jokubaitis out of Lithuania. And I like this kid a lot. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch, but probably more of a draft and stash guy at 60 anyway. Now, if you made it through all 60 picks, first of all, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And now you can grill me if you want to, or you can give me a round of applause. So go ahead and grade my mock draft. A, B, C, D, or F. A means I got all 60 picks right. F means I didn't get a single one right. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section.